Hello everybody, welcome to ACD-Combatives. This is Coach Kurt. This is your channel for everything and anything control tactics, use of force, also the martial art of Taiho Jutsu or modern police concepts method as I teach it and train it. Listen, I also train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You watch the channel, you know this. This video is going to cover the key lock. If you do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you'll also know it as the Kimura or the Americana. Of course, it depends on what direction you go, but I simply usually just call it the key lock because then it doesn't matter. We're talking a shoulder lock. Standing techniques, and you're seeing what is commonly known as a standing Kimura. I am telling you that this technique is the one that you're seeing on the channel right now on the screen. I've used this on the street as a police officer. I've used the Americana. Both are amazing self-defense oriented jiu-jitsu techniques. Taiho Jutsu, Japanese jiu-jitsu, you know me, a rose by any other name is still a rose. This is common in all styles of grappling, catch, you name it. But this is I would say a staple. You have to have bread and butter shoulder locks. The great thing about a shoulder lock is the stability of it. Just by its very nature, the way you lock up with the individual, it's much more secure than, let's say, a wrist lock. And I've used plenty of wrist locks over the years as well, especially Sankyo or the twist lock. I've used Nikyo and Kodagaishi, which is the outward wrist takedown. These are all capable techniques, but a shoulder lock, nothing says 11 like a shoulder lock. It not only causes pain, but it gives you pretty decent control of the individual's upper body, i.e. the shoulders and the head. And you know wherever the head goes, the body shall follow. So you can usually take somebody down from a standing position fairly well. Up in the left-hand corner, you see the Americana variation where the fist is up, shoulder is down, and I've used that as well. And on the main screen, I'm using a combination of, a temiwaza strikes to soften up, to enter. You're seeing the pummeling drill. You've watched my channel, you know I'm talking about how important pummeling range is, the clinch range. You absolutely have to take the clinch range extremely serious in your training. So many schools of martial arts kind of skip right over that clinch range, dirty boxing range. They go from the outside all the way in for the takedown, and that's super important. But you're going to get tied up in the clinch range. If anybody is going to try to keep you from taking him down, it's going to be in the clinch range. And if you do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, for example, or wrestling or MMA, you know that you're safest all the way in or all the way out. That punching range gives them the puncher's chance. You know, they could be an amazing boxer and you just don't want to stand toe-to-toe with anybody. It doesn't matter if they're a better boxer than you or not. You don't want to take the puncher's chance when you're fighting on the street. You want to protect yourself on the way in, clinch, and take them down. And again, this part of this video is the standing variation of the key lock. And then we will go to the ground, and I will show you the same variations, but on the ground as it relates to handcuffing. But here again is the Americana variation of the key lock. You can see that it goes up instead of down. In Jiu-Jitsu, it's north or south. North is head side, south is feet side of the body. So the fist is going up or the hand is up. You see that I'm doing the same, what I call the double wrist lock, and it's been called the Kimura lock or whatever you want to call it. Regardless if it's on the standing or on the ground, the positioning is pretty much the same. Here it is from the guard, key lock from guard, or Kimura from guard. You see that this is a good weapons defense, for example. You see I'm wearing the training duty belt, but you see that grip I'm talking about. In catch wrestling, they call it a double wrist lock. And that's what I tend to call it. Because I call it the key lock. It doesn't matter if you're going up or down. You're using the same double wrist lock. Basically, you're interweaving their arm and you're grabbing your own wrist. And you see that I'm sliding out by doing a little bit of a shrimp and going to the side on the outside of the individual, and I'm gaining control of that shoulder, and I'm keeping that strong bend in the arm, because if you let them straighten that arm out, then you'll lose the lock. And here's a variation of that from knee on belly. This is all going to be as you would see it in law enforcement, Taiho Jutsu, for example, for handcuffing, because, I train Taiho Jutsu. I'm a cop. I do control tactics. I teach control tactics. So that is the premise of how you're going to see it in these videos. But you'll see that my right leg is up a little bit and not straight down like you'd see in sport jujitsu, and that is to protect you from the bite. Maybe you'll see it again here. I'm having the camera person go around, but see how I'm kind of up? I'm not all the way down like this. You see the knee on the grunt down? That's fine and dandy for sport. I like to keep it up a bit alongside the frame of the belly and the stomach area of your opponent. That keeps you from getting bit. And there's that double wrist lock, and I'm putting them into a handcuffing position. Same technique, different approach. Here I am with a training dummy. I'm showing you that you're going in through a knee cut pass. Here's top left, kind of the same difference, but I'm going knee on belly. I'm striking my way in. Again, this is Taiho Jutsu. It's not sport. And you see I'm demonstrating using that shoulder. It's called the shoulder of justice. When you're in side control, you see how my knee is up against his shoulder, and my shoulder is going down across the chin. And I turn the dummy so you can see that my other knee is on the hip. And that is to basically lock them in position. And once you've got them locked in, I'm going to gather up the arm. So I'm putting my arm up over their head, and I'm gathering the arm. But I'm going to want to go to north-south to get a better angle on the key lock. So I'm blocking the hip with my hands so I can remove my knee. And I'm going to shift to more of a north-south entry to the key lock. And that gives you just that much better angle, especially if they're going to be trying to push your head off, get you dislodged off top of them. That even sets it up even better for the key lock. And then I'm entering into the key lock just like I did before for handcuffing. Again, everything I do here is pretty much for handcuffing. This is going to be the Americana variation of the key lock, where I do those quick little palm strikes to get their hands up. I call them V8 strikes. They're not meant to be powerful. They're meant to get their hands up to protect their face. You see that I'm going into a high mount, and I'm swimming through the arms and distracting with those strikes for the perfect angle for the Americana. You see that I'm hooking his leg with my leg or foot. That keeps him from being bucked off, because watch his hips. They go up when you go into the Americana. That's just standard body. That's how people respond. And then I'm turning him over to like a chicken wing position, which is basically another variation of the key lock for handcuffing. Here you see this again. I'm doing it with Val. The other practitioner I was training with was Colton, both training partners from a previous duty station. Here I am dropping down into that Americana position I was talking about, and I'm just scooping up under the arm, that double wrist lock, and that paintbrush action. You want the knuckles to drag on the ground just like a paintbrush. And here I am going into that handcuffing shoulder lock. So it's basically from one variation of shoulder lock into another for handcuffing. I just left that in for the whole point of this type of technique in Taiho Jutsu is for handcuffing. All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. Please take care. Please like, subscribe, and share. And everybody stay safe out there.
Let's roll. Hey, let's be careful out.